So welcome to the next and final session of the Mental Models to Crush 2023 series. And thanks so much for being part of the journey. And thanks so much for really traveling with me into all the different models to help you outthink and outposition and out-strategize your competition. And finally, we are going into really the kind of strategic relationships and networking that we want to do in 2023. Because here's the thing, right? Like we all know networking is important, but who are the people that will give you the best bang for your buck? And this is not an exploitation thing. This is a resource allocation thing. Because if you were to meet up everyone, you probably need to kiss many frogs before you find that one prince, right? Like, because you have to go through a slew of either salespeople or agents or all sorts of people, and everybody wants to. Here's the thing, right? Like about networking, one of the key things is if they, for the most part, you're meeting them because they're asking you for money, generally those relationships don't work very well unless you're really in the market for a transaction. Let's say you're engaging a real estate agent because you actually want to buy real estate and you're networking with the real estate agents to get you the best deals. That's one thing. But if they want a demand on your time and a demand or to pick your brain and all those things, generally those people are not a good idea. So that's just a tip for free. But really, what I want to give you now is a framework that is, I think, very useful for you in picking the right kind of relationships. So I'm going to mental model number 5, and I call it help the hubs. And when it is a very simple networking lesson, and if you're able to do this well, what will happen is you will transform the way you do your strategic networking, because the right network opens doors, but not all doors. Like when you meet people, you do get opportunities, but what you want are the most plumb and lucrative opportunities that come from the highest quality people. But how do you do that? How do you find the right connections? You don't have to waste your time, waste your energy, keep meeting people, etc. So I'm going to go into what a hub is. So a hub is really a person. I mean, we all know what hubs are, like in airports and all those things, right? Like it's the kind of the airlines, like the ones in like JFK or Washington or DCA and all those where all the planes, or Dubai. So it's a center of activities where all the planes land. Changi Airport is where all the planes land, etc. So a hub of activity is the center of activity. A hub for networking is basically, let me just change colors, are basically people who attract other people. They're hyper connectors. That means they know the whole world. So everybody knows who they are. They know everybody. And so what happens is they also have the highest level quality of connections, just because by the sheer quantity of it, again, you do sometimes have to kiss the frogs. They actually have all the connections in the different industry. So these are hubs. And so what you need to do, if you want to really be strategic about it, is you need to be a resource for these hubs. You need to be the one that says, hey, let me help you. Let me further your goals. let me make your life a little bit easier. So what you're really doing is you're getting the attention of the hubs, and that's what I do. So I just don't go with one hub. So this is just one, but then you replicate this process over and over and over again with different hubs, with different hyper-connected people. And one of the best things you can do is you can actually, and this is quite cool, you can make invitations for this hyper-connected person to meet another hub. And now both of them become part of your network, and there's a little bit more synergy there. And the thing about hubs that you need to know is that these people are very high quality. As in, there's a reason why people want to hang out with hubs. I mean, if they're a socially introverted loser who is nasty and an asshole, people don't want to hang out with. I mean, even if someone is corrupt or a crook, they don't want to hang out with asshole crooks. They want to hang out with nice people. They want to hang out with people who are genuine and are high quality. So generally, hubs are the reason why they attract other people is just because they are high quality. So what that means is then you just keep assisting these hubs, and they become your resource. And that's what I do. I just keep connecting with hubs. And so what happens is now, because here's the thing, like what you don't want is sometimes to use Google or even ChatGPT for some of your inquiries, because they don't tell you they don't actually tell you just silencing my phone. They don't actually tell you what the industry, they don't give you the nuance of an industry, because you have a best practice, but it doesn't really give you the insider knowledge or the right track. Because the worst thing you can do, right, is there's a word that I want you to, I'm going to use blue since that's more, there's a word that you should avoid, at least at any beginning stages, at least in the first, second, or even third stage. You don't go cold. You don't do cold, because cold basically means cold. Cold means things like, leads, service providers. It could be referrals, and even knowledge of an industry, especially if you are from the outside looking in. So what happens is cold leads are harder to convert. Cold service providers may give you shitty service because they're untested. Cold referrals, cold and referrals are usually hot, but sometimes if they're the referral of a referral, it can be quite bad. And knowledge, meaning you don't actually have knowledge of that particular industry. And those things are risky, and those things can help. What happens is if you don't tackle it properly, then really all these things becomes a waste, because you don't have the right insider knowledge, and you're spending too long. Like a cold lead takes about almost 5 times to close than a warm lead and on a hot lead. A service provider that is trustworthy and is referred generally will take, it's usually the chances of them doing a better job is much higher than you trying to go to the yellow pages or the internet to get one. So really what you're doing is to shorten the time. So really it's time. You don't want to waste time, because there's only so finite let me just draw a clock. Time is finite, and you don't want to waste the time. So instead of taking, let's say, for instance, in my hub, I want something to do with the government. So let's say I have some governmental things that I want to settle that will take months or years. Now I can settle it in 2 weeks. Why? Because I have a hub and I help the hub help me. And, or even things like, hey, I want to launch a product. Now I have an army of people who can recommend other people to help me become JV partners for my programs and products. And so what you need to do is you need to be able to be of value. Because the thing interesting about hubs is a lot of time, it's not about the referral quality, it's not about sales, it's not about the money they want to make so much. So a lot of them have causes on their heart. And so what happens, right, is you need to find basically what are the causes beyond money. Like, it's nice to have a referral, nice to have a lead, to close a sale and whatnot, but usually with these kinds of hubs, they have causes. And all you need to do is just say, okay, what's the cause and how can I help? Like, I know one of the richest people in sub-Saharan Africa because I helped his daughter with a pitch. Because what can I offer the richest man in sub-Saharan Africa is a billionaire. It's not like, even if I gifted him a Rolls Royce or everything, he might say thank you, and he parks it in his garage filled with his 8 other cars, exotic cars. But because his precious daughter required help, I helped the daughter, and now I'm in his inner circle, and now we have access to, in a sense, the riches of Africa. So that's what you need to do. You need to help the hubs, you help the hubs, and you help multiple hubs, you introduce the hubs to one another, and what you're going to have is an amazing networking experience. And so your first assignment, if you know nobody, is find a hyper-connected person. They're not that hard to find. And do a meeting with them. And again, remember, cost over money. So one of my business partners was the most hyper-connected person in Malaysia. And all I really did was I prayed a blessing over him and just said that, hey, I just want heaven's bountiful blessings on you. Again, I can't offer him money. I offered him a course because he had a relationship with a higher power, and then I enhanced his relationship with a higher power. And then we became business partners after that. And that was a very lucrative relationship because when you're a hyper-connected, he told me, if you want any of the big brands in Malaysia, just give me the list and he will set appointments. So basically, in a day, I can get 3 or 4 different appointments with the top CEOs, which normally takes weeks or even months to get. So again, help the hubs. Look for their causes and make their life a little bit easier. So that's it from me. That is the help the hubs, and this is the conclusion of the mental model series. And again, the reason why I did this series, I mean, one is I enjoy doing these things, but 2, I'm relaunching Inevitably Incredible, which is WYODC's productivity and planning program. I mean, it starts from $41. The reason we want more eyeballs is because we launched it during the holiday period, which is, my bad. And we just want to give it the eyeballs it deserves. We want to get you the opportunity to see it because you're probably on break in Turkey or Mexico or somewhere. And we want to help you achieve your goals. So that's it for me. This is a pleasure. This is my pleasure just interacting with you guys. And I just want to say, to writing your own damn check, This is Kenneth Yu. Have a kick-ass 2023. See you and goodbye.